Hello, welcome to another PaWcAsT episode 3. So, alright guys, sorry for the misinterruption here. So anyway, I was scrolling through like information yesterday and some stuff went down about the furry fandom, I guess. And so hopefully this thing will let me screen share again before I invite anybody else in. I mean, before anybody else joins, I just want to have a little moment to myself and to talk for a bit. So, okay, yeah, I know. Anyway, guys, the whole furry fandom here. So I believe like 2 nights ago or last night, I watched a video of the furry fandom possibly falling apart, or it's gotten really like dark or something. I mean, don't get me wrong, not all furries are like okay, guys. I guess the thing won't let me work, so okay. Anyway, guys, um, I'm not gonna screen share because screen share apparently likes to fuck up. So anyway, I don't know what's going on with the furry fandom, but I researched it into it and um anyway, I did some research and apparently I guess the furry fandom is falling apart, I guess. I really I really don't personally understand, but apparently the furry fandom maybe has gotten too dark, or there's furries out there who are, I mean, not all furries are very sexual. Like I said, there's some furries who love to roleplay. There's furries who love to yiff. There's furries who love to dress up in fursuits and be comfortable out in public. I mean, I'm sure it was probably new to my boyfriend, but when I was at a convention with him, I saw like lots of furries, and to my surprise, he was the one that pointed him out because he was like, "Look, there's people in animal suits." I was like, "Don't you mean fursuits?" And he was like, "Oh yeah." So, I don't know. I felt a little bit embarrassed that I had to explain to him what the furry was, and yeah. So, but he knows I used to be one. Honestly, I don't regret being a furry because I mean it was pretty fun for a while. I tried to get my own fursuit, but it's just too expensive because when you have an artist like work on your like head, the paws, the tail, they're gonna ask lots of money. Like a fursuit to this day is like maybe over like $800 or like $1,000. But I'm still a supporter of the fandom, just like with the bronies. I don't know about the brony fandom. I don't know if they're falling apart or if they're still going. But the brony fandom started all with the whole My Little Pony shit, and fucking some guys are just like obsessed with Pinkie Pie. I don't know why, but yeah, I think it's pretty interesting that the MLP fandom, maybe they're still going strong. I don't know. I can't say. But I know the furry fandom is probably eventually will fall apart, and that's really sad because when you're a furry, you want to connect with other furries, you want to talk to them, you want to meet and greet, you want to like hang out with them, have a little fur party or whatever. So, um, at this point, I really wish I could speak with an actual furry. Um, I've tried, I've tried to friend request one on Discord because he had his Discord link in his YouTube bio, and from what it looks like, he looks like he's a Christian but also a furry. And I think he's just I think he's a very interesting furry because he also explained about the furry fandom leaving as well. And so I was just like, damn, man, like I should, try to come in contact with this furry. Um, I'm not sure what his name is, but I'm about to go on my Discord and definitely show you guys if it'll load. Um, but anyway, I don't think he's not on Discord, but I've his name is Naskaten. He's a furry, a famous furry on YouTube. Um, I'm thinking about adding another person on Discord. They have a YouTube account as well. I'm just trying to talk to like very well known YouTubers, regardless if they're furry or not, because I really want to ask questions. I want to like you know discover more of why the fandom could be falling apart. But eventually we'll come to that conclusion, and we'll definitely get back to that in podcast. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be inviting Jocko and Cornelius in. So please welcome Jocko and Cornelius.
Yay!
Hello. Welcome, welcome to the show. To the show.
Yes, I don't have my voice prepared today because I have not talked much. So I will do my best to wake it up. Except it was good.
Oh no, no, it's okay. Um, oh, Wren, before you come in, you kind of offended Cornelius last time over the copyright thing. He didn't intentionally do it on purpose, so out of respect, I do ask for you to just be respectful of other people. Um, and we all would appreciate that. PaWcAsT is basically about where we discuss things and talk about stuff, and we'll all take turns talking, and we have to mute ourselves, whoever's talking, and then we'll have that person have a chance to talk. So I'm going to invite you in here, but first I will speak, and if anyone else has anything to say, I'll mute myself, and then they could speak while the others are muted. All right, everybody. Wren has entered the chat.
Blah.
Anyway, so first off, I'm gonna go ahead and say my part on the fandom while everyone is muted. So, again, I'm not sure why the fandom is falling apart. I don't understand. I think it's because sometimes in the furry fandom, like there's people who possibly want to start fights or arguments, try to be more of the dominant one or popular one. But in my honesty, I think for a fandom to grow bigger and more respectfully is that everyone should eventually treat each other like a big family and just be friendly, don't hate on each other, especially if you're like all in the same group, because yes, there's drama sometimes every now and then in a fandom, but you eventually just have to like just all just personally get along, even if something may not go well or not. But I think, and there's also possibly trolls in fandoms too. Like there's somebody who could play as a fake furry, and I think that's how the fandom is going down too. But I'm not too sure about the My Little Pony fandom, the Brony fandom.
Well, can I
Regardless, hold
comment real
on,
quick?
hold on a second. I'm still talking. Anyway, regardless, I think furries and bronies are just, alike. Yes, they're opposite. They have different fandoms, but regardless wherever, if you're a furry or a brony, respect each other's fandoms and move on is what I would personally say. All right, Ren, I'm going to unmute you now.
Okay, so my comment on that, another thing that's kind of killing the furry fandom is like the Kick app. A lot of us hang out on there. I mean, a lot. There's like hundreds of us. But with the whole thing about it is, right now, as of, I believe, the 17th, the Kick app is being shut down. There's been a lot of controversy on it of whether or not it is or isn't, but Kick themselves has sent a message to each and every user confirming that it is being shut down. So that's a whole lot of crud. And I've personally met a lot of people on there, a lot of nice people. And for it to be shut down because they have a lack of funding really sucks. And I know a lot of people on there, they're not exchanging over to any new apps. I've moved a lot of people over to Discord. But a lot of people aren't getting new apps or anything, and they're just going to be lost. So that's not a lot of fun. So any of you furries out there that are seeing this or anything, please either come to Discord and join us, join Cora's group, or maybe my group. I don't really care whose group you join. But please, stay in the fandom. Don't leave it. Don't abandon everyone in it. Because there's a lot of people out there who aren't in the fandom. They've left it, and they don't need to. There are people out there that will welcome you with open arms. We are some of those people. And that's all I have to say on the matter.
Personally, I don't believe the fandom is like breaking or getting smaller in any way. Number one thing is it's the second largest growing fandom. The other thing is it's too much of a generalization to be really say it's falling apart, because saying you're a furry can mean many things. It could just mean you like the art, you're interested in the suits, which only 20% of furries have. You can just all you have to do is just like that kind of stuff, and that makes you furry. But you can't just say, oh, it's falling apart, these people are having drama. Like it's not that there's more drama, it's just it becomes easier to see drama. It just spreads, you just see it. It's not that there's more, you just see it more often because how visible it becomes from the lack of people noticing other things, like the positive things. Because the media has a tendency to spread negative things much faster than any positive thing, which has been changing lately. And Google, believe like last year, they said that there have been more searches related to positive things been going. But I want to say this is much of a fandom more as a hobby or a liking.
And also with what Ren explained earlier, yeah, Kick was mostly popular with furries, and I'm also guessing bronies too. I'm not sure about that, but Kick was definitely popular with furries because even when I was just experienced the Kick app just for a little bit, I searched up like furry fandom groups, and there was so much, and I would enter some of them, and I had a lot of people like asking me like, "Oh, are you a furry?" I said no, but I'm a supporter of the furry fandom. And then, I would just get kicked out automatically, and which was understandable. I mean, they probably, couldn't they probably thought I was a bot when I wasn't. I've proved that I wasn't a bot, but I still got kicked out anyway. But I have noticed a lot of drama on Kick from some of the group chats that did have furries in it. It was either between like relationships or this partner, that's my mate, and it was all just very obscene and very bizarre. And I could definitely understand why Kick is being deleted along with Google Plus. Google Plus, oh my God. Let me tell you my experience. When I was a furry on Google Plus, there was lots and lots of drama that I've experienced, even from even from some of the furries that I did not get along with, even though I was one myself. There was this one furry I was sort of friends with. His name was something Fox, and he was he was a very, I think it was Riot. His name was Riot Fox. Yes, Riot Fox, and he was a little bit older, I'll admit. But this guy had the most biggest major issues between him and his like wife, and he would just always tell his business out on Google Plus, and I would always say like, "Hey, just keep that between yourself. That's your personal life." And then he would cuss at me, and he would go off, and he would say, "Screw you, like this is how I feel, what I go through." And I was like, "I'm not trying to start problems with you. I'm just nicely telling you, just keep your marriage like off of Google Plus." And then next thing you know, I had a whole bunch of other furries. Some had my back, some supported him, which was his friends, and it was just one big old drama. Also, I was dealing with an ex I used to date over the internet too. And so I think that's why Google Plus mostly got deleted, because they saw that, oh, everyone made it into a social media platform when Google Plus was actually meant for business, like not for like social media to be like fucking Facebook or whatever that. So, but I think personally in the near future, I know they have Fur Affinity. That's another furry website. They have DeviantArt, which is also has furries on it. I think they should make a website that's for furries and bronies. One section of furries, one section of bronies. And if a furry and a brony wants to be friends, let them be friends. If not, they can go their separate ways. Again, both fandoms are different. Ponies, animals. You got men dressing up in pony costumes. You got men and females, gays, bis, pans dressing up in fursuits. And all regardless, never judge the LGBTQ community, because in the LGBTQ community, there's a lot of furries. There's bronies too, for example, like Athena, or I think he calls himself Lady Midnight, I believe. Yeah, Lady Midnight. Um, but yeah, overall, I hope eventually someday the furries and the brony fandom can all just get along and not startle one big dramatic war, basically.
Okay, I have a few things to say on that note. One, the LGBTQ community. I am a part of that. I am gender fluid. I have had a lot of people judge me for it, and for all you haters, like the principal that tried to get all things related to that banned from his school, and then was found out to be a child molester. To all those people out there, I'm not saying you're child molesters. Just know that. For all those people out there like that, you shouldn't diss somebody and try to get their kind of thing removed from the internet and stuff just because they are a person and they choose to identify differently than you think they should. That is not your place. You do not have a right to do that. This is America, land of the free. And for those of you who aren't in America and are getting treated that way, I'm sorry. And as for the whole brony thing and stuff like that, yes, I understand there are a lot of apps that are shunning us and shutting down because of us and our disputes and stuff. On the Kick app, that I believe that is actually part of the reason. But a lot of the reason is because Kick just doesn't have the funding to stay up anymore, because nobody's funding them. Everybody's getting away from it because there's arguments on it happening, like people calling furries pet fuckers. No, just because somebody's a furry doesn't mean they fuck animals. It doesn't mean they want to fuck animals. It means they have a different way of identifying, and they wish to truly be free and feel freedom. And that is the way that they show that they are a free being. that their spirit runs wild. And for all of you that sit there, I've personally been banned from a group that I joined on Discord through TikTok because I was a furry. I got banned the instant they found out I was a furry, and they started messaging me and trying to get my account taken down, calling me a pet fucker because they assumed because I'm a furry, I'm into bestiality. Just because somebody's a furry does not mean they're into bestiality. That does not mean that at all. I mean, yes, there are some furries out there who are. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm not saying you should be mean to them based on something that you believe. That's not how things should work. You should ask, you should be open to ideas. I mean, a lot of people judge me for it, but I'm going to be honest here. I watch tentacle porn. I'm weird. I know I'm weird. I accept the fact that I'm weird. And if I can accept the fact that I'm weird, then why can't you? And as for all the apps being shut down because people arguing over characters and who belongs to who, you don't own anyone. Just because you're with them doesn't mean they're yours. It means they are with you. They are basically a part of you. You don't own a person. You can't own a person. This is not the day of slavery. You don't own anyone. Anyone and everyone has a right to do as they choose. And if they want to cheat on you, then you have the right to leave them over that. Just because they are with you does not mean they are yours. Does not mean you can control them. And I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else take over and comment on that because I'm starting to get a little upset on the subject because I had somebody who tried pulling that crap on me.
Also, another thing I would comment as well, especially I have met some furries, even bronies who have faced insecurities. I even go through insecurities sometimes because, I admitted to my boyfriend that I feel like, I feel like at the time, like I didn't think I was thinking, I was having negative thoughts. And I was telling him I didn't trust females regardless because my insecurity all started out from my last relationship. And honestly, I know this may seem a little bit too personal, but what traumatized me was my virginity, and my insecurity came from that because I felt very dirty when I lost it with my ex. Like, I knew somewhere in the back of my mind he wasn't the right man, and he personally took what he wanted and stole it, and that's something I could never get back. And sometimes I go to bed crying because I feel that insecurity every now and then for when he stole something that I should have saved, but I didn't because I chose to experience, I chose to be curious. I'm imperfect, and that'll always be the truth about myself. I'll always be imperfect. And I feel that way with some furries who also feel insecurity too. We're only human, we sometimes our mind can be our own enemy. And when we think about our significant other, like we think, we're not good enough for them. We feel like they're better off with someone else instead of us. And so I just I personally feel like that's an insecurity there because personally my boyfriend actually told me in his honesty, he said that I was worth it to him. He said he liked dating me. He said he likes having me around, and and from what his grandmother honestly said, what really hurt my feelings, his grandmother said that of course everyone has their opinions regardless we may like it or not. I didn't like it for a fact, but She thinks that me and my boyfriend would never be fit together as a married couple. And that really hurt my feelings because, nobody can't imagine or predict how my life would be with my boyfriend if we were married. Like, people can't just assume and say, oh, well, I can see that they're not going to be right for each other for marriage. um, if they could look inside my dreams that I've had about marriage with my boyfriend, it's it's actually not bad. Even though as much as I want to believe my dreams, I'm not going to believe it until I know for sure that it's actually, true. Because it was just weird. Like Saturday, noon, I was hanging out with my best friend and just um but um but yeah, Saturday noon I was hanging with my best friend, and out of nowhere he just points out engagement rings, like as if that was another fucking sign for me with my boyfriend. Like, cuz I spoke with four professional psychics, and they were real. They're not liars. They were not phonies. I've spoke with four professional psychics on video, and they all said that in 2020 my boyfriend supposedly will propose to me, which explains why I've been seeing a silver ring with an opal stone on it a lot in my dreams. But again, I'm not going to believe it until I know for sure, because I feel like I'm just not gonna believe it until I know it's for sure. So, but but yeah, and then apparently in 2021, supposedly I'll be married, but I'm not gonna see it until I believe it. So, but anyway, for the furries or bronies, if you're ever feeling insecure, don't let it get to you. Just know deep in your heart that your significant other thinks you're absolutely wonderful and amazing, even on your worst days when you think you look like a mess. I mean, I'm even a mess sometimes. So we're all on the same page on this one. So I'm going to hand over the mic to anyone else who wants to speak.
Okay. On that note, I do understand where you're coming from on that. No one is perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect man or woman. There really isn't. Everybody has their flaws. And I will admit, yes, a lot of people believe sex is something that should be saved for marriage. A lot of Christians believe that. I believe, even though, yes, you probably should, just because you had sex out of marriage to experience it, to try it, everybody's curious about it. And if you try to say you're not, you are lying to yourself. Everybody's curious about it at some point, whether they're married or not. And as for whether or not you've done it out of marriage, just because you did it out of marriage doesn't make it a sin. Does not mean that you're dirty or flawed. Just means you thought they were possibly the one and you wanted to make them happy. Now, if they tried to force it onto you, that was wrong on their part, not yours. And for all the people that have experienced like rapes and stuff, I've actually had somebody try to come on to me and actually attempted to rape me. So I know how that feels. I kicked them in the balls and I fucking ran for the hills, but I know how that feels. I know there's people out there that feel they can't talk about it because if they do, the person will get mad and the person will come for them, or people will hate them over it. I understand that. I understand that people have fears, and there was this show that came out recently that my mom's been watching that goes into this girl that got raped, and people marked her as a liar on it. She flat out said that in court that she lied about being raped and posted all this fucking shit online. Even though this show, it's not, I don't think it's real, but it goes into shit that has actually happened to people. And people were posting shit online saying that she is a, what's the word? A proven rapist faker or something like that. And for those people out there that have been called that when they were really raped, I'm sorry for you. I mean, there's not a lot of things I can do to help you except for give you my support. But I will admit, there's a lot of bullshit things that go on in the world. And if it is bullshit, it's going to be bullshit. All you can do is move on, try to forget that it happened, and try to live a better life. I mean, I can't say much on that because I think about it constantly. I think about a lot of things constantly. And again, I have short-term memory loss, so I tend to forget a lot of things. A lot of important things too. Kind of like tonight is trash night, and I should have taken out the trash before I left home. But hey, no one's perfect. Nobody can foresee the future and do everything right and make all the right decisions. Nobody can find love in the first try. And if you think you can, you are lying to yourself. I mean, yeah, some people do occasionally get lucky, and the first person they find to actually open up to is the one. I will admit that. But most people, the majority of people don't get that lucky. And they go on for years and years trying to find the one. Heck, I'm still trying to find the one. I've actually, at times, given up because I've been cheated on, lied to, forced into roleplay rape and shit. And I just fucking went with it because I felt if I didn't, no one would love me. And that right there should never do that. You should never put up with that. Because no matter what you think, there is somebody out there for you. Someone will open up to you, someone will love you, and you will love them, and you will be together till the end. No matter when that end may come. But even though I am a strong believer on everything good will end, there are relationships that they're just meant to be. And you will occasionally fight. Every relationship, there is going to be an argument. There is going to be a fight because that's just the way things work. And if you truly love each other, you will move past it and work through it. If you don't move past it and work through it, then it's not meant to be and you shouldn't force it to be. You should move on and find somebody that actually makes you happy. Because I was in a relationship. I forced it to continue for years. And I had a friend that told me, dude, this isn't working for you. It's tearing you apart. And I said, I know, but I don't want to leave them because I do love them. I know they love me. They're just constantly busy and it stresses them out. But in the end, if you don't even have time for each other, like no time in the day at all, and you don't even talk, then honestly, even though I hate to say it because I've denied it a lot, it's not meant to happen. And if it's not meant to happen, then you shouldn't try to force it to happen. You should move on. Find somebody who's meant for you. And I'm going to let somebody else talk now because I've been talking for a while.
As much as I've had fights and arguments with my boyfriend, we work through those, and every time we get done fighting, like, I always forgive him, he forgives me, and still to this day he's still here with me. And honestly, 2019, this year, is going to be over pretty soon. And by the time we're still dating of next year, of July 29th, that would be like 2 years, because I've never had anybody tolerate me this long. Because the dudes I used to date in the past, every time there would be a fight, they would either fucking just accuse me or ignore me or cheat on me, but he doesn't do any of those. We just talk it out and work through it. And, you know, I have a feeling he could be my last. And they say your last is the one for you because you're going to have, okay, there's 3 stages of love. You're going to have a first love. Your first love is basically, wait, actually, where's my phone so I could say these definitions properly. So, 3 stages of love. All right. Hopefully, it'll give me a definition. All right. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So this actually talks about we only fall in love with 3 people in our lifetime, each one for a specific reason. So, here it is. Oh, right here. Falling in love the first time, the love that looks right. It's been said that we really only fall in love with 3 people in our lifetime. Yes, it's also believed that we need each of those loves for a different reason. Often our first is when we are young, in high school even. It's the idealistic love, the one that seems like the fairy tales we read as children, which that is true. So, and then it reads on more. This is the love that appeals to what we should be doing for society's sake and probably our families. We enter into it with the belief that this will be our only love, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel quite right or if we find ourselves having to swallow down our personal truths to make it work because deep down we believe that this is what love is supposed to be. Because in this type of love, how others view us is more important than how we actually feel. It's a love that looks right. So basically, they're actually explained about your first love. Basically meaning you're falling in love at a young age and you think, they're going to be the right one for you, but turns out they're not. Now, here's the second part of love. Falling in love the second time, the hard love. The second is supposed to be our hard love, the one that teaches us lessons about who we are and how we often want or need to be loved. This is the kind of love that hurts, whether through lies, pain, or manipulation. We think we are making different choices than our first, but in reality, we are still making choices out of the need to learn lessons, but we hang on. Our second love can become a cycle, oftentimes one we keep repeating because we think that somehow the ending will be different than before. Yet, each time we try, it somehow ends worse than before. Sometimes it's unhealthy, unbalanced, or narcissistic even. There may be emotional, mental, or even physical abuse or manipulation. Most likely there will be high levels of drama. This is exactly what keeps us addicted to this storyline because it's the emotional roller coaster of extreme highs and lows, and like a junkie trying to get a fix, we stick through the lows with expectations of the high. With this kind of love, trying to make it work becomes more important than whether it actually should. It's the love that we wished was right. Damn, that is so deep. That hit me hard there because through my last relationship, which was my ex, that was my second love. That was my lesson. And I believe my boyfriend now is my third love. My third love, the one that could actually last. And the third one is called Falling in Love the Third Time, the love that lasts. And the third is the love we never see coming, the one that usually looks all wrong for us and that destroys any lingering ideals we clung to about what love is supposed to be. This is the love that comes so easy it doesn't seem possible. It's the kind where the connection can't be explained and knock us off our feet because we never planned for it. Again, me and my boyfriend are twin flames, and I explained about what twin flames were in the last video that I did. This is the love where we come together with someone and it just fits. There aren't any ideal expectations about each person should be acting, or there is pressure to become someone other than we are. We are just simply accepted for who we are already. And it shakes to our core. It isn't what we envisioned our love would look like, nor does it abide by the rules that we had hoped to play it safe by. But still, it shatters our preconceived notions and show us that love doesn't have to be how we thought in order to be true. This is the love that keeps knocking on our door regardless of how long it takes us to answer. It's the love that feels right. Possibly we need a whole lifetime to. Oh, wait, hold on, I skipped. Maybe we don't all experience these loves in this lifetime, but perhaps that's just because we aren't ready to. Maybe the reality is we need to truly learn what love isn't before we can grasp what it is. Possibly we need a whole lifetime to learn each lesson, or maybe if we're lucky, it only takes a few years. Perhaps it's not about if we are ever ready for love, but if love is ready for us. And then there be those people who fall in love once and find it passionately last until their last breath. Those faded and worn pictures of our grandparents who seemed just as in love as they walked hand in hand at age 80 as they did in their wedding picture, the kind that leaves us wondering if we really know how to love at all. Someone once told me they are the lucky ones, and perhaps they are, but I kind of think that those who make it to their third love are really the lucky ones. They are the ones who are tired of having to try and whose broken hearts lay beating in front of them, wondering if there is just something inherently wrong with how they love. But there's not. It's just a matter of if their partner loves in the same way they do or not. Just because it has never worked out before doesn't mean that it won't work out now. Basically, this all explains that your third love is your absolutely realist one. And I feel like, I truly deep down feel like my boyfriend possibly be my third love. Because my first one was my very first ex boyfriend in high school. And my second love was the last guy I dated. And it was a lesson, it was manipulative, it was emotional abuse. And I still truly believe my boyfriend now that I have for 1 year and almost 3 months now is my third love. Because I kept praying. I kept praying every day to God. I even kissed a coin and threw it in a wishing well, and even wished to have a man who will still stay by my side throughout our fights, be thick and thin, and just forgive each other after every fight and just move on and still enjoy the relationship we both share. And I truly feel like that's my boyfriend. I honestly do right there. Whew, all right. I'm going to invite Hyperfox in. We're still on the subject, Hyperfox. So if you want to talk with us, you can. But if someone's talking, mute your mic because we're all doing this out of respect. All right. So whoever wants to talk, go ahead and speak. I'll mute myself.
It's about fucking time you invite me.
Yes, welcome to the voice chat, I guess, the stream. If I were in a relationship and someone were to try and make me change, like and tell me, hey, stop doing that, like stop playing games all the time, stop drawing art, like go do something else. I don't like that you do that. If somebody were to try and change who I am, I would immediately just be like, bye, have a great time. Like I hate people who are like that. They use their relationship and they go like, "Oh, you can either date me or you have to you're gonna leave me for that instead. What is it? Which is it? Me or the video games? Like people like that are stupid. Like that's just an example. It could be like it doesn't even have to be video games. It could be any hobby or anything you love to do, and they'll just be like, "Hey, me or video games?" Like no, it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to do both. You should be able to love someone and do what you love.
Well, on that note, I do understand. Yes, people should be able to play video games and stuff like that. But there's that fine line between doing both and then doing too much of one. Because if you're only paying attention to your lover, then you're becoming obsessed and you're going to neglect what you need to live and survive and not get that done. And that can hurt you and your relationship. But if you're ignoring them for video games all the time, they're like, hey, can we hang out? And you're sitting here saying, no, I've got to finish this match. And then I've got to do this quest. And then I got to do that quest. Then you're neglecting your other. And that is wrong. You should give attention to your other, but not enough that you're drowning them in it.
You are
Life all
because
is
absolutely
about life is all
crazy.
about balance and moderation. Everything, well, almost everything is good in moderation. Of course, like
I'm
there's some
lost.
things that just getting a little bit will be bad for you, but you should be able to. Everything is bad when you have too much of it. There's nothing in this world that you can have infinite of it and you'll be fine. You can
Yeah.
you can die from too much oxygen. You can drink too much water. You can, you know, not get enough sleep. Staying up is fun and all, but like, when you don't sleep and you die, it's not very fun either. Like, you have to
Anyway,
keep things
like I
balanced.
like I was saying, yes, you do have to keep things balanced. There's a lot of people that try to say, "Well, I want to do this more," and it's like if you have to pick which you want to do more, then you need a psychiatrist. You need help because you're doing something wrong. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I am completely lost. I don't have a clue where the fuck I am.
Ren, you are absolutely right about that first part because I lost a friend to video games. Like he would say the same thing like you said, and he would not like every time I would ask if he wanted to hang out, he would always say that he's too busy doing something, and basically he was like my only one friend that I had since I was like in kindergarten and stuff like that. It's like my only friend I had, and then I lost him to freaking like a video games really. So yeah, I guess you are right, and
I
like
think, I, sorry, I think that has to do more with the person because I'm pretty sure that's not mainly the video game's fault. That's more mainly because the guy or girl, whoever that friend was, with their gender, uh, it's their fault. They decided to do that. They decided to push your friends and family away, and that's just kind of a bad person. All it takes is a bad person and anything, and they can do anything wrong.
yeah.
I wouldn't
I mean
say it's always their fault though.
it was basic. It was like what all Ren said. It was like basic all true. What happened in my life. What all Ren said, it was like all true. Well, for me, anyways. So, well,
Well, I'm
most of it, anyway. Because I mean, it's like me and him. We were just friends. We didn't go any further. Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to kind of disagree at least a little bit with
Well, yeah.
because some people, because it's not always about you, you know. Because
Well, yeah.
the other person can always go through difficulties, and them pushing you away just because of that is not right. But there's the other side of the coin where they're always going through difficult times too.
I mean, his
Stuff of
life.
life.
I mean
okay,
It's
that.
like
guys. Real quick, when you're not the designated speaker, you are supposed to be muted. Corey did mention this, so please, if you're not the one currently talking, mute yourself. Don't interrupt the other person. Let everyone get a chance to talk. Now I'm going to mute myself.
thank you. But it's like because I've gone through this before. Um and I feel like a piece of shit for doing this. But like at one point I blocked all my friends and I just left everything behind because I felt everyone, all my friends just didn't need me, didn't want me around. And so I just kind of left it all behind because of how mentally fucked I was. And so I just yeah, that's my situation though. Not everyone's. But take the floor, Ren.
I will admit to you guys, I have been sort of kind of doing that to you guys. I've been sort of distant lately. Why I haven't been on much. I've been drowning my life with TikTok more or less and making videos, making content, making other people smile. I've pretty much drowned out who I am and who who I want to be to try to make other people happy instead of being concerned with making myself happy. I mean, yeah, TikTok does kind of make me happy. That's a car with one light. Anyway, I was more concerned with making others happy and doing stuff other people were in demand for, like Hogwarts professor OCs. So I made a Hogwarts professor OC, and because I did some things people didn't like, they tried getting my account taken down from TikTok. And it honestly pissed me off. So I did a rant about it and ended up getting a 3-day ban from TikTok for stating my opinion about how I felt I should be able to react with my character because it's mine. I should be able to do what I want with what is mine. It's my OC. I created it. I should be allowed to roleplay as my OC freely without anybody saying, hey, you can't do this with that OC because it fucks up everything. So what if it fucks up everything? As long as it's not fucking up your character or your OC, then it shouldn't matter. And I mean, I've got followers that don't even have any OCs. They don't even make videos. They're like, hey, you can't do that. It's like, yes, I can. It's my character. If I wanted to kill my character, I could. I could kill him today. I could kill him tomorrow. I can have him die in the most horrible way from a Dementor casting the killing curse on him. I forget the actual word for the killing curse, but that's besides the point. And I mean, I have this friend that I made through TikTok. She has a professor called Professor Corvus, who is a vampire, and their dark side is taking over. I had my student OC join in on that, on submitting to the dark side of the vampires. And then we have this third person who is in pursuit of trying to find us and save us. And people are like, hey, you can't hop in on that. I'm like, hey, she let me, they let me, I can. It's their storyline. They let me join in to add a bit more spice to my storyline. That was mine and their choice, not yours. And if they choose to kill off Corvus, that's their decision. They choose to kill off Dylan, and I agree to it. That's my decision. And as for the people that say, well, you can't do that, fuck you. It's my character, not yours. You can't control what I do with the character. And if you're going to ban my account, then why even follow me? I'm going to turn somebody else.
Does anybody else want to go?
I'll go ahead and speak. Yeah, Ren, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Like, there's people, even assholes out here. Why do you think I haven't been on TikTok a lot? Because I personally just grew bored with TikTok, and not to mention, there was some very rude and obnoxious people on there, making fun of my teeth, making fun of my acne, saying that I was ugly, but regardless, I ignored those comments. But in my mind, I was like, this is dumb. Like, I shouldn't be on TikTok where I know that young children are going to watch me because I'm an adult. And yes, there are some children on TikTok who will try to get adults in trouble because they chose to follow them, they chose to watch them. And so their best move is they're going to, report your TikTok and get you banned. And that's why I left TikTok, because I don't want children like 5-year-olds or 8-year-olds trying to watch my TikTok. So I left TikTok, and I probably lost a lot of followers, but regardless, I don't care. TikTok is just dead to me, just like Vine is.
Okay, my comment on that, this is why I put 16 plus on my account, because according to community guidelines, you have to be at least 13 to even be on the app. So the fact that there's people under that age is stupid, and they should not be there. And on another note, I was at Walmart the other day buying wands, Harry Potter wands to do a trend. And I had an 8-year-old walk up to me and say, "I know you." I'm like, "No, you don't. Where do you know me from?" Like, "I'm following you on TikTok." I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't be pointing that out, and you look way too young to even be on the app. And their parent shows up and says, "What's going on?" They're like, "I know them." I'm like, "No, you don't. You don't know me." I turned around and tried walking away, and their parents stopped me and said, "How does my son know you?" I'm like, "Well, they're kind of following me on TikTok. If I was aware that they were following me, I would have blocked them, because they should not be on that app. They are not, clearly not of age to even be on the app, let alone watching my content, because my channel is 16 plus, because I do have some gore and stuff that occasionally ends up on my account because of some of the people I do at. And for those people that are following me that are under 16, they shouldn't be. And to all the people out there that are on TikTok, I will say this: if you've got a famous person that you watch on TikTok and they say, "Hey, if you want to follow from me or duet from me, you have to send me this many gifts or this gift," don't do it. Don't give them what they want. Make I know this is kind of redundant to what was said earlier. Make them be a little bit more humble. Because I think just because they're famous, because they have like 10,000 followers or something like that, they deserve money. It's called, if they didn't have your money, their ass would probably be kicked out on the street because they're living in their mama's basement and they don't really have a life. And they're pouring all their energy into TikTok in hopes that somebody will give them money so they don't have to get a job. I'm here to tell you now, to all you famous TikTokers, get a life. Quit relying on these people to send you gifts so they can have a 15 seconds of fame and you hiding behind your spotlight, because that's wrong to hold that over somebody's head, saying, "Hey, you don't give me money, I'm not gonna do this." That's bribery. Not only is that bribery, that's almost exact definition of blackmail, and that's illegal, not in just the US but everywhere, because blackmail is how women get raped and shit, and people end up with somebody else's kids, and people end up giving thousands of dollars to somebody to get their kids back. It's wrong. It shouldn't be happening anywhere, not even on TikTok. I'm here to say I'm about ready to leave TikTok if it doesn't quit happening. So, one, there should not be little kids on that app because it is a teen app. And if you're in your 40s and you want to be on TikTok and make wise content and give wise words, that's fine, because it's for 13 and up. So, no, it's not just for teens, it's for teens and adults. It's not for 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. Because if you're going to be on the app and you are under 13, at least don't go running up to somebody that you follow on TikTok saying, "Hey, I know them," because you can get them in a lot of trouble. I'm here to say, if you're under 13, heck, if you're under 16, I find out you're following me, I'm probably going to block you and report your account. But if you're under 16 and you're following me and you stay out of my radar, I'm probably not going to block you. But if you're under 13, I will be looking for you to block you, because I can't go to prison. I've been accused of things that I would never do. I've been to court trials for supposed child molestation, because my dad's girlfriend's daughter, 9-year-old daughter, has a father who has paranoid schizophrenia and told her to tell her teacher that I touched her. I do not want to go through this again. I have a child's museum that I want to work at to help my mother out and work with game systems, expensive game systems, like computers with VR systems hooked up to them. I wanted that job so bad, and I can't get it because of a stupid accusation that got taken way too far. And I moved up with my mom to try to escape that and get away from that because I didn't want it to ruin my life. Now, I'm going to let somebody else take the mic before I actually start ranting.
Yeah, TikTok is very dangerous, and Ren's right. Little kids shouldn't be even on TikTok because personally, it's for teens and adults. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen like some of the most cringiest TikToks I've seen that little kids do, and I even seen cringiest TikToks that men in their 50s or 40s or women in their 30s have done. And but I have to say the worst, cringiest ones I've seen were the ones made by little kids. Like, they'd be on their Android phones trying to, lip sync the music, even though their camera is not like in motion with the song. So basically, this is how they'd be looking like. Pretty much like that. So I will say that on my part. Anyway, I think Farrell was about to speak. So
Thank you. Yeah, I have 2 points. So, one, when you want to become someone popular on the internet, say YouTube or whatever, there are 2 things you want to do. Is more than 2, but anyway, I digress. You want to have a thick skin, because there are going to be people that are going to come at you and hate you just because they want to. They're going to troll you. And you have to come at that in mind. I mean, otherwise, why are you on there? Um, and just because they insult you or whatever doesn't mean it's criticism. You always want to take in what they're saying. It's not always just gonna be something bad. I don't know. Like, say somebody says your art is shit. Okay, where's the criticism there? It's just an insult. But if they say something like that line could have been better or whatever, because they do say just the smallest thing can change art completely. Like, that would be a good criticism in some way. But yeah, with so yeah, when you just make it up there on something, I don't know, just have a thicker skin, because yeah. And with the whole TikTok and kids being on there if they're younger, I'm not gonna blame it on the kids, because kids are gonna rebel. They're not gonna listen to their parents. If anything, it's the parents that aren't fucking doing anything good parenting. Yeah, they're just not parenting completely good. Like, it's like, if you have your 10-year-old playing GTA 5, what the fuck did you expect? You know? Because if you baby him all the time, he's not gonna listen to you later. You have to have standards. You have to set barriers here and there. You have to kind of discipline them, not in an abusive way, but in such a way that they'll understand, you'll both be on the same page. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, anyways, like, I do agree with you, Ren. I mean, I am above, like, I'm 14 and I can be on the app. But my sister, she's not 13. She's lower, and I don't get it. She doesn't. I oh, I am 14, and I am allowed to be on the app, just like Furry Amino. You have to be 13 and above to be on that app. And they are actually pretty good at catching some of the
Okay,
like
quick
little.
question. I'm going to intervene for this one time. What is Furry Amino? I've heard about it, but I don't know what it is. I can't find
It's
it.
it's an app for just for furries and stuff. You can voice chat. You can do all kinds of. It's basically like Facebook, but you can voice chat and you can.
Okay. I may start using that because I'm looking for another app to try to find more people.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
you know what? You're welcome. There's that, and I do agree with the TikTok thing. You have to be age limit, and like I do follow some stuff with gore and stuff in it, and I don't mind it. For crying out loud, I watch gore. It doesn't bother me. And like, I mean, yeah, some of these little kids, yes, they don't need to be on this app. Some of the little kids, like, I don't get it. They're yeah, like flip like yeah. Crap. Like Farrell said, they're they need to start controlling their kids. Like, I'm not. Well, I even play GTA, but I don't mock some of the crap they do. So, like, oh, forget it. I like to play GTA. But anyways, so yeah. Oh, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I do agree with everything you two said. And I haven't really been posting. I mean, I've been on TikTok, but I haven't been posting lately. And really, the only thing I really post is like mainly some wallpapers I have on my phone, and just add some music to it. That's about it, or some random pictures. But like, especially, um, some oh, I'm gonna let somebody else speak while I freaking think of it.
Okay. Um, Something I did forget to mention earlier with the whole um TikTok famous thing, even YouTube. Just because you have like 2,000 followers or a million followers doesn't make you famous. When you have haters out the ass trying to get your content taken down, and you've got fan art out the ass that you don't know what to do with, and all that fun shit, and people making fan art about your OCs and shit, that's when you're famous. Like, even though I hate to admit I look like him, PewDiePie. PewDiePie is famous because he's got haters, like me, for instance. I don't like PewDiePie. I think he's annoying. I find him excruciatingly annoying. Mostly because, even though I hate to admit it, he does look a lot like me. I find it annoying that he looks like me. I find it annoying that he's a lot alike me. Um, Even some of the other famous YouTubers out there, I find them annoying because it's like they seem to go on these rants and do all this crap. So they've got haters like me, and then they've got people that love them, do art for them, and stuff like that. Those people are famous. But you people out there that sit here and think, "Oh, I'm famous because I have 2,000 plus followers," you're not famous unless you have these haters. When you have haters, you know you're famous because there's somebody out there that hates you because they can't be as great as you are. And as for the whole age thing, I will state again, the age thing, you need to be of age to be on it. And as for all these furry sites, I know there's kids out there, like, I'm not trying to diss Droko or even you, Fox. I'm just going to call you Fox. I hope that's okay. I'm not trying to diss you guys, but when somebody goes to role play with you on an app, you need to be like, hey, I'm this age. You don't wait until they start going sexually or something like that. You need to state your age, like, immediately, because they can get in trouble. Like, I could have gotten in trouble the other day because of Droko. Um, the other thing on the subject of kids being on games, even though I do kind of hate the game and its standards and crap, I play Fortnite because of really lack of anything better to do. Because on the Nintendo Switch, there's not really many online shooting games. I will say that. I wish they would release GTA 6 when they do finally release it. I wish they would release it on Nintendo Switch. I doubt they're going to, but I hope they do. So I'd really love to play it because I had an Xbox 360. I love GTA 5. I played it a lot. I played it since I turned 16. My dad kept me away from it because of the strip clubs and stuff. And to all the parents watching this, if your kid is like under 16, really under 17, you should not be letting them play GTA. And if they are, you should be monitoring them, to be honest. Because if they walk in that strip club, you're going to have strange questions coming from your child. Like, what are those? What's that? Why don't I know what this is? Shouldn't I know what this is? Why, when I pull the trigger, does this come out and this person dies? And also, like with Fortnite, you've got these kids that rant and troll people on the app thinking, oh, I'm so much better than them because I killed them. Just because you killed me doesn't mean you're better than me. I mean, well, yeah, it kind of does. I mean, I'm new to the game. I mean, yeah, I held PUBG Mobile's first place spot for 2 months in a row on my phone because I got used to the game, the playing style. Also, because I played Roar Robots on my phone and on my Kindle. I was in one of the top clans of the game. I was one of the best players, and I spent very little money on the game to up my gear and stuff. I played with what I had, and I learned how to play what I had. It just takes time to develop skills at the game. Just because you're able to kill me does not mean 100% you are better than me and I'm a noob and you'll always be better than me. It just means I just got here and I don't have the experience you have. I just got a brand new Nintendo Switch a couple months ago and I got Fortnite. I'm new to the game. My internet's kind of glitchy with the game. So, of course, I'm going to get killed a lot. I'm there to have fun, not to get a rank. I'm there to see how many people will run by me and never notice me. And I had this kid, my brother has this 12-year-old friend. I figured I'd friend him on Fortnite. That way I had somebody to play with, somebody to talk to. Because I knew he wasn't going to be a douche to me and troll me. Because he was kind of my friend too. Because back in my hometown, a lot of people my age found me annoying because I'm nerdy. So I didn't really have a lot of friends. Especially when I got put in alt ed because of my grades. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't have a lot of people to hang around other than my sister or my brother. So I tried making friends with people that were younger because I was kind of childish. And I play Fortnite with him occasionally when he's actually on. And he introduced me to some of his friends on Fortnite, and I started playing with them. Well, one of them has his friend, and I made a joke when I came in to join them to play with them. I said, oh, you guys are playing on PlayStations. Those should be named gay stations. I was clearly joking around with them. And I got kicked out immediately after that statement because he said, don't go saying that. I'm like, saying what? And he kicked me out. And I joined back in and said, dude, I didn't hear what you said. Could you please repeat it? I wasn't trying to insult you. I was just trying to make a joke. And then later, I was going to do a match with him, and his buddy said, kick this PC player. PCs are gay. PCs suck, and they're modded and all this other crap. And then he kicked me. So I flat out blocked him. I figured this is somebody I don't want to be playing with. Obviously, they're childish. They haven't grown up. They're too young to honestly be playing with me and too young to realize that this person is kind of a troll and is trying to control him and other people. And to be honest, with all those kids on Fortnite, the game is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to have fun, not bring other people down because you have a horrible life, a parent that tries to control you, maybe a sibling that bullies you a lot. You're not supposed to bring others down to your level. You're supposed to have fun. I met this person on Discord. I bugged the fuck out of them to play Fortnite with me because I really had nobody to play with. And they agreed. We had the time of our lives. We died a lot. I do mean for like the first 15 matches, we died within like the first 10 minutes of the match. We weren't very well coordinated. And he's like, hey, dude, there's a guy behind you. He tried shooting them through me by mistake, not realizing I was like literally right there. And then the person shot me in the back and killed me and then killed them. There was another match we went into. They're like, hey, there's a dude in the building with us. I'm like, how do you know? He's like, they just killed me. And by the time he said that, they were behind me and had just killed me. I'm like, well, guess what? He's like, what? I'm like, yep, they're here. He's like, yeah, I kind of told you. I'm like, well, I'm kind of dead now. But yeah, Fortnite, I will admit, there's a lot of good players that have a lot of experience. And at least with Fortnite, it's not a pay-to-play game. And it's easy to get, so is PUBG. I mean, I don't really like the graphics of Fortnite and the setup because there are a lot of trolls and stuff. But there was trolls with PUBG too. PUBG and Fortnite are basically the same thing. Just one has better graphics and PUBG came out first. So Fortnite didn't want to copy PUBG 100% because they didn't want to be copyrighted and shut down. They wanted to create a fun environment for people to have fun. If you're going to troll somebody on a game, you shouldn't be playing games. You should be seeing a psychiatrist and getting help to manage your temper. You shouldn't be saying, haha, I killed you, you suck. I mean, yeah, I will admit, I am a rage player. I get pissed off when somebody kills me. I am kind of a poor sport. When I kill somebody, I chuckle. Because I think it's funny because I finally got a kill. And it's kind of ironic because I constantly lose in Fortnite. But, I mean, if you're a gamer, you shouldn't make other people feel horrible about themselves because they lost. You shouldn't go trying to friend them and then when they finally accept, say, haha, you lost me, you suck, and then block them. That's wrong. That's horrible. And for those parents out there watching, please try to make sure your kid's not a troll and being mean. And if they are, you should question your parenting skills. You really should. Because if your kid's being mean and bullying others, either if they have an older sibling, that older sibling is probably bullying them because they are being bullied, or are doing bad in school because of bad decisions, and are probably doing drugs of some sort. Because, I mean, heck, I was doing pot for years and my parents never noticed. And I was treating kids like shit because I was bullied a lot because I refused to do drugs and shit by the bullies who were doing drugs. And I started becoming friends with some of the potheads that were a little bit more chill and mellowed out, and I got into weed. And it mellowed me out. Made me where I didn't care much because I have depression, anxiety, and shit. I'm not saying do weed. Don't do it unless your doctor prescribes it. Because unless your doctor prescribes it, you shouldn't be doing anything. I am 100% behind that. I've made bad decisions. A lot of people have. But you should keep tabs on your kids. Don't be overbearing because then they're going to rebel. But keep tabs on them. Even if they don't know you are, keep some sort of tab on them occasionally. Make sure they're not being strange or different or stuff like that. I had a friend, he showed signs that he was going to commit suicide long before he did. I mentioned to his parent, and she's like, he would never do that. 2 weeks later, he committed suicide. I was heartbroken. I thought about committing suicide because of it, but I figured I thought about it. I'm like, my friend wouldn't have wanted me to do that. They wouldn't have wanted me to die because they died. They would have wanted me to learn from them and moved on and lived a better life. And I did. And there's a lot of parents that don't pay enough attention to their kids, and their kids get horrible and become bums and live on the streets because their parents never paid attention and didn't give them the attention they need and the help they needed. They just ranted to them and yelled at them My father was an abusive asshole because he thought unless he yelled at me, I would never learn a damn thing. I mean, I don't mean to put all the blame on my father, but my father definitely didn't help my life and my failures in school. I'm 18 and I'm still a sophomore. I'm now living with my mom, taking online courses. And for the most part, out of you guys here on Discord and the people I've met on Kick, I really, for the most part, have no friends outside of that and my sister. Because my sister and I have been close for years. Like, my brother annoys us. So me and my sister stay close because there's not much age difference between us. I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else take the floor.
Is
So,
any of okay, go ahead.
hey, guys, my battery is about to die on my computer, so I'm sorry to cut it short here. We have to end this stream here. I'm sure there'll be another time. I just don't know yet. Um, anyway, we're gonna sign off here. So
Real
thank.
quick, there should probably be a part 2 to this. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I feel there should be a part 2.
yeah, so do I, because I want to like continue this because cause I have some more stuff to say, but we don't have time. So yeah, I really think we should do a part 2 of this venting thing, whatever we're doing.
How about tomorrow night around
Yeah,
the same time?
yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah, this time I
Um,
won't pass out. Also,
it
36
depends,
minutes
guys.
in.
It depends, guys, because I work an 8-hour shift now. So if I'm tired, then I might not do
Well,
it.
If you're
okay,
tired, you don't have to.
yeah.
Before we get off here, guys, and whenever Core's next live is, I'm going. Cora, do you mind if next time we're up, if I share my YouTube maybe, and maybe I could do some stuff on mine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just have
Okay.
this one. I just have this one last thing to say. Like, uh, I'm just trying to make friends and stuff, and I'm not trying to be famous on different apps. I don't care if I'm famous or not. I just want to make friends. I don't care what rank I am. I really don't care.
Okay. Well, guys, whoever's watching this, I don't know who is. Next time Cora's live, I will be sharing my YouTube. I'm going to probably make a new one or figure out which one mine is and see if I can still log into it. But I will be sharing. I hope everybody who's watching has a great night. And Cora, back to you.
All right, guys. See you next time. I'm listening. All right, guys. See you next time.
Peace out.
All right, go ahead.